Hello?
Oh, hi. Is this Ville?
Yeah, it is indeed. Is this Allison?
Yes, hi. So great to have you on the phone.
Hey, how you doing today?
I'm good. I have a little bit of a sore throat. I heard you were under the weather as well, so hopefully you're doing better.
Well, I'm getting there. I've got some doctors just prescribe me with some antibiotics, just in case, and all that stuff. So it's just being asthmatic.
Yeah.
Cold. It just messes up with my lungs, and it's tough to breathe and stuff. So just, it's nothing out of the ordinary, but it's not nice when it happens on tour.
Right, and then you've got all these shows, exactly.
Yeah. It's not the easiest to sing if your nose is running all the time. You know?
Yes. Well, I just want you to know I am a huge fan. I'm so honored to have you on the phone, so thank you for taking the time to talk to me today.
Oh, come on, we're not done yet.
Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. So first of all, how does it feel knowing that you, your words, your music have touched so many millions of people's hearts? You see fans every night singing every word. There's tons of people out there with him, heartogram, and tattoos. So how does that make you feel?
What question? I think that, things like that, usually an artist or musician doesn't really think about. You just go forwards, and there's a lot of times it's, strength in music, it comes from the insecurities you put out. A lot of times performers are pretty shy, and they just transform when they perform and when they, sing a song or play an instrument, and it doesn't have no rational, rhyme or reason. That's the bubble in which I live. So I don't know. I don't follow, the social media or try to figure out, read all the reviews or whatever. And if there's a really bad one, we'll hear about it though. It's the incredible wealth of information is just devastating, the amount of it. So I'll just, basically, long story short, I just try to concentrate on what's in front of me, sing the show and try to be in good shape and write a good song.
Yeah, and speaking of, that's my next question, is what is your songwriting process like? That's what, so many people grab onto is your lyrics, and they can relate to you. So what is your songwriting process, and what inspires you lyrically?
I think that usually how I start writing my songs is I have a feeling or an emotion that I cannot describe in words. So the only way I can put that feeling out is via melody. And then when I have that melody down, that describes, that's why I love music. It's like, it doesn't have anything to do with language necessarily, or it's really primal. When I have that emotion down as a piece of music, then I'll just try to find the verbal equivalents, the ways to not fuck up the mood, speak. So that's also the reason that a lot of times they're a bit obscure or they're a bit surreal, or because it's tough. It's tough to explain yourself in words, or anyway, to a friend or whomever. If you're talking about really, really important stuff and really emotional stuff and the stuff that is at everybody's core, that's the stuff that's so hard to verbalize. And that's probably why I do music. I'm able to explain this world to myself a bit better via music, or with music as my tool. Music is like a mirror.
Yeah, and that makes sense. And, I always say music's a universal language. And you, of course, being from Finland, so after you have that melody, like, how do you decide whether you're going to write in Finnish or in English? How does that process work?
Well, then I grew up listening to English music more, or American music more, and I always thought, me and Miguel, the bass player, were talking about it many a moon ago, and English was always the language for rock and roll, and it has a twang to it, unlike any other. Like Finnish language, for example, is very exotic, and it's really rough, and the rolling R's and so forth, but it's not the easiest language to write in because it sounds so. It's tough to write something beautiful in such a hard language, or hard-sounding language. I adore a few Finnish writers and singer-songwriters and stuff like that too. It can be done, but I haven't been able to do so. So that's the reason probably why I started writing stuff in English. It felt like a challenge, and then again, it's like how would I put it? It's like when you're not messing about with your own language, you can kind of see the forest for the trees. You can see the language from a very different angle. than a person who speaks it every day, all the time, and has been brought up with language, because the nuances are different. And at times it's better, at times it's worse. It doesn't really matter. It's just different. Same with authors. Or same with good translations. You know, let's say some translations of Kafka or whatever. You know, it's very different. Just the thought process of people who've been living in different cultures for a long, long time.
Okay, I have heard you do some cover songs in Finnish, which is always fun, you know, because of course I recognize the melody and can kind of figure out, you know, what you're saying.
Well, I was singing a few songs back in the day, but it's been a long, long time on anything Finnish. And then there was one new song, one of my friends, who did his first solo album, Eho is his name. I think it's now released, and there's I sang one track. It's like an old poem about Lucifer. We found from like early 1900s, a Finnish poet, and kind of like oddball who did it. And I thought they fit so beautifully to the music that I didn't rip it off, but I just sang the poem as it is into the song. So that's my latest adventure into, you know, Finnish and music.
That's neat. How do you decide what cover songs that you want to record?
Well, we haven't. I don't think we've recorded or played any kind of new cover songs in a while. But it's the age-old thing, Wicked Game, which we probably played more than any real hymn song, because it's one of the songs that taught us about our capabilities as musicians. It gave us the sound of him, that song. You know, with the movie Wild at Heart by David Lynch, and that song was on the film, and then it got a lot of radio airplay then, like I think early 90s or so, or mid 90s, and then yeah, for some, I don't know where I got the idea from, but I just thought that it's a brilliant idea to make like a really hard-hitting version of this. He did it in like 15 minutes and never stopped, never, you know, turned back to look, you know. So it's one of those things. It's called the magic of music. Yeah,
yesterday I was listening to Don't Fear the Reaper. That's what kind of gave me the question. So what made you cover that, and who was the female vocalist?
The female vocalist was Linda, the guitar player.
Okay.
June Hyde, who was my old childhood friend, and we just asked her to come over to the studio because we didn't know any other girls that could sing, and she did a great job. But no, the thing was that I grew up with horror movies, same did Miguel and Linda as well, and John Carpenter's Halloween is quite the life changer. And there's like 15 minutes into the movie, there's Jamie Lee Curtis smoking a joint in the car, and on the radio there's Don't Fear the Reaper playing, and that's the first time I heard the song. So it seems that a lot of times the covers have something to do with the movies and other stuff. It's not just us like picking up music. It's more about maybe seeing the songs in some odd coincidence or whatever. You know, it's just the right time and right place sort of thing.
Okay, so you've played probably all over the world at this point. How does it vary playing for audiences in the United States compared to Finland and then throughout Europe?
Well, you know, it's funny that a lot of people in the States would say, consider all of the states being alike, the audiences. This country is so massive that it's the audience response is very different from state to state. So in that sense, very similar to Europe. You know, you can drive 300 miles and the reception will be not terrible, but it would be horrific in a very different way. Let's say that in some countries people sing along to the song super loud. In some countries they're really aggressive and bang their heads. In some countries they're very quiet and respectful and yet listen to the music. Valid ways of, enjoying music. But it seems that different cultures have different ways of appreciating it, and so it seems here in the States as well. That some places are wilder, some places are a bit more quiet, and I'm not just talking about the amount of audience, I'm talking about the vibe of the audience. People are a bit more distant, and I want to say that there would be one best or one worse or whatever. There's so many different variables, as, for example, what day of the week you're playing. Is the band in a good shape or not? And what time of the year it is. It all has, because people are always wilder when it's a weekend. And which, it works miraculously in all the countries. Whenever it's Friday, then the show's going to be a good one.
Yeah, definitely. So how do you choose what you're going to play live? You've got 8 albums worth of studio material, and I'm sure a lot of additional extras, B-sides, and stuff like that. So how do you choose what you can fit into your set on stage each night?
Well, there's a few songs we cannot not play. There's songs that we have to play because they're very important, history-wise and identity-wise. There's songs like Join Me in Death or Wicked Game or Buried Alive by Love. Songs that are kind of like tough to throw out of set. And songs that it's similar sort of thing, I usually think of in terms of being a fan. And I'll think of, let's say back in the day when I saw Typo Negative in '96, what was the thing I loved about them and what was the thing I didn't like about them too much. So that's how we try to build our sets too. It's not about us jerking off musically.
You want to please your fans.
Yeah, well, it's about a communal experience. It's about an experience that is interactive and that it's not just a bunch of musicians playing to whomever. It's about the venue. It's about the sound of the venue, how the lights look, how the people are feeling, how the band is feeling. Everything interacts with each other, and that's what makes it special each and every night. So you can play the same song can be very different, like emotionally, and its impact can be very different on consecutive nights because of those things, because of the audience or the band or whatever it could be. And that's also what makes music interesting. It's not repetitious to a fault,
And now you do have a big Christmas item coming out on December 23rd, the Lashes to Ashes Listed Us box set. So I know you're putting out a bunch of different options, but can you kind of just tell anybody who doesn't know about it what you'll be releasing?
Oh, well, there's too many things. The fastest way would be just to log on to the End Records website and check it out. It's the basic idea was that since our first 4 albums were never properly released in the States, we never had a label here who would have pushed them. And our first kind of introduction to the States proper was Dark Light when we signed to Sire Records. We just had the opportunity about 2 years ago to get our rights back for the old material when it comes to the United States. So we thought that let's put them out in a cool way that they would be like high-tech, flashy, cool, good-sounding vinyl editions and whatnot with all the bells and whistles. That's basically what we aim to do. And I hope that we've succeeded. So the idea is basically that there's a vinyl box set with all the 4 albums with regular sleeves and with our first EP, 666 Ways to Love, that was only released in Finland back in '96 on CD, and there was like 500 copies of it made or something. So it's the first time that we've been released on vinyl. And then it's got a USB stick with tons of extra stuff. I was scouting through my old archives, and I found about 40 songs that are something that's never been released before. So basically, that's what we included. That's the vinyl box set, and there's the vinyls that include like download codes, obviously these days. But I think the vinyls are colored. They have the gatefold sleeves and so forth. So, and then there's CDs, and then there's downloads and whatnot. So there's many different versions of the albums, and just get the ones that look the best.
Yeah, well, I think it's amazing, and that with music today, with all the downloads, just having something tangible that people want in their hands, I think everything looks great. So hopefully that's a huge success, and I'm looking forward to the USB. Anything I haven't heard yet by you guys, I'm super excited to hear.
Cool. All right, excellent. Yeah, we're excited about the whole thing too, and I'm hoping that it's going to pay off in the end. The vinyl thing is really nice. So. Yeah, we never had the vinyl of those old albums back in Europe because late '90s wasn't vinyl time yet, So it was very few, far and few between, the stuff. So this is the first time we actually get the vinyl in our hands. And when we started out as a rock band, vinyl was how you consider yourself successful, So.
And you're there, so that's great.
Well, finally, it took 22 years or so.
Yeah. So I did see you guys are working on a new CD after you're done with your tour and everything. You have a tentative release date of December 6, 2016. Do you have any ideas yet as to what we can expect from your next studio album?
No idea really. I've got ideas, but usually my ideas get transformed so many times before before the album is actually done that it's impossible to say what it's all going to be about. But yeah, it's going to be pretty melancholic and hard-hitting. So once we get back home from this little tour, we're going to relax for a week. I'm going to pick up the acoustic guitar and start working on the songs proper. And when I have enough of that stuff, I'm going to take it to the rehearsal place and we start working on it. It's impossible to say how long it takes. 2-3 months to get an album done, and at times it takes a year. So it's depending on the mood of the band and how challenging the songwriting process will be. So I don't know when it's going to be out, but it will be out as soon as it's good enough.
Okay, so last thing for you is just any final words that you would like to say to your fans.
Well, not much more than a big thank you and so forth. You know, it's been quite a year and a half since Tears Tape was released. A lot of ups and a lot of downs, and yeah, it's been good. And you know, thanks for being there for us and being a symbolic shoulder to cry on.
Okay, well, that's everything. I will be at your show tomorrow night. I can't wait. Thank you so much for your time today.
Wow, wonderful. See you at the Wiltern.